Hey guys, sorry for the delay. I've been really busy and had things going, but today is, I think, lesson 5, and we are going to do the monogram wizard. So we're going to go ahead and open our mySewnet software. And once that's open, we are going to choose the embroidery. Go ahead and double click on that. And once that's open, we're going to go ahead and choose blank canvas. Oops. Update. Oh, that's right. There's a new update. I do need to go do that. I will do that later. But we're going to go ahead and choose Express Monogram. That's going to open that wizard up directly. So go ahead and just click once on that. And here is our monogram wizard window. It does not get larger. It doesn't maximize. This is the size. I do believe we can kind of grab and move it. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. For those of you on a small screen, it'll help. Okay, so when you open it, this is what you're going to see. It pretty much always defaults to this. So we're going to go ahead and go across our ribbon bar first. So this is the Monogram tab, and this is the ribbon bar for the Monogram tab. This is our letters box, and this determines what shape or how big each letter is. So when you click on the Show All button, you get options. So this is one letter, and that's one big letter, two full-size letters, one small letter, one full letter, and on it goes. This is the one that's generally popular. It's where the first and middle initials are small, and the middle initial or your last name initial is large. So that's the one we're going to go ahead and choose. And then you'll notice that you have A, B, and C. B reflects your middle letter. So we're going to do at W for Stitching with Stephanie. So we're going to do W. Oops. Go ahead and make it uppercase. And then S and S. Now, if I was using my real initials, my last name would be the big letter, and my first name and middle name would be the small letters, respectively. Okay, so then we have what's called an envelope. And if we click on the Show All, there are tons of different ways that this can play out. And if you notice, each one, the middle letter is going to be larger than the other ones. So we can have them all lined up, and this border will change as we do it. There's so many of these, just tons and tons. Some of them work really well, some of them not so well. Like that really distorts it. So you do kind of have to play with it. And as you do it, different fonts will look better as well. I will say this, there is no customizing. So if you don't like the way this looks, choose something else because you cannot redo it. You can't alter it. You can't say, oh, I want this letter to be a little bit more this shape. It doesn't work that way. This is a wizard. It's doing it as it sees it should be done. I kind of like this one, so we're going to go ahead and go with this shape. It's not a normal shape, but I do like it, and the border doesn't look so crummy with this one. Oops. And then you can go back, and that takes you to your borders. Next takes me to the next, and then finish puts it in my hoop. But we're going to go ahead and click on next because we want to go to that full letter. So again, we're going to do the Show All, and let's try this Anglo-Saxon. I don't really care for it, but it'll work. All right, so this is our full letter. We can actually increase the size of it if we so choose. And we can change the stitch type as well. We can alter the satin column. Right now the density is 4. We could change that to 3. We could add an underlay if we were doing this on a towel and we really needed that extra layer. We could do it in a gradient, which we'll discuss later in a more advanced class. But for now, we're going to leave it as 3. So that's what stitch type is, thread colors. So notice that there are multiple thread colors. We can go ahead and double click on that thread color and we can choose a different one. Let's do this coral color. Say okay. The spacing is going to determine the distance between the middle letter and the first letter, so the letter on the left, and the second letter, which is the letter on the right. If you wanted them further apart, you could increase that and they will spread apart. I do recommend that they are equal distance apart unless you have a letter like, I think it's J that's kind of weird, that does some weird things. Okay, so that's how you do your next full letters, but then we're going to say next. Small letters, so this is going to be those letters on the side. So we're going to go ahead and do the show all, and let's do this Georgia. I kind of like that. So that's pretty simple. And then we can do the color again, and we can make it the same color if we want. And then again, stitch type, satin column, we can go ahead and drop that density down to 3. 3 is a really good density. Sometimes with 4, the stitching can be a little gappy. You can also, when the lettering is smaller, you do a higher number, so it's less dense. The bigger they are, you can do them thicker, so you'll want a smaller number. Sometimes 2, if it's a pattern fill, I use 2 a lot. I like a really dense pattern fill. Satin line, sometimes a 2 can be a little bit too thick. Okay, so you can, that we did the stitch out, we changed it. Okay, so now we're gonna hit next. And this is that border. And notice that the border is highlighted, that teal color or that green color. If we click on that, it takes the border away. And then we can put it back. You can change the margin so you can make the border closer or further away. Okay. Rounded corners, uncheck it, it puts block, and that does not look good. So we're definitely going to go that. And individual letter borders, that kind of defines it a little better. I tend to choose the individual letter border to get that definition to be a little bit better. Stitch type, again, you can choose between satin line, running stitch, a motif line, or a triple stitch. Obviously, triple stitch is going to be really thin. If you were using maybe like you wanted to do an applique and you were using this to create an applique, you could technically do that. That might be something kind of fun to show you. I might do that. You can also add an applique in here and it will set it for you. So either way. So let's do our options on that, and we're going to do the density at 3 again. That'll thicken that up and not make it so sparse. So add applique, we can select our fabric. You can choose whatever color fabric you want. So I'm going to choose this color. Oh, and I'll go over this real quick because again, this is going to be when we do the applique tab. We'll play a lot in depth with this, but you have an option of quick, which allows you to use the quick colors. Fabric is going to let you choose fabrics and cut out and other things. And then these will let you open different things. And like I said, we are going to go over that when we do the applique tab in the software. Okay, so I have picked my color. I'm going to say okay. That's going to change my background color. Options, again, this is going to pull up your applique options where you can do standard, pre-cut, pre-place, cutout. You can choose your running stitch, everything you want to. Again, we're going to go over that more in detail. This is more of a monogramming part, so we're going to kind of skip over some of that. Thread color, again, double click on that or hit that little thing. Double clicking on this one does not work. You have to click that little button. Go ahead and I'm going to choose that Sea Frost color again. And there is my monogram, and I'm going to say finish. And there it pops up in my screen. It does kind of look at it as far as the size of your hoop, so do keep that in mind. So it's kind of cute. It's kind of nice. And if you wanted to do another one, you would just come to the create and express monogram again. We're going to take these same letters and I'm going to do this one right here. This one, in theory, I kind of like it. Border, let's see. If you undo that one, this is a case where if you undo the individual borders, it looks much better. I'm not real fond of the S's not looking similar, like they don't look identical to each other. I'm not very fond of that look. So this is something that I probably wouldn't do just because I don't really care for the way it looks. Um, so that's what I was saying about going through and choosing different ones to see how they look. Maybe choosing a different letter. Let's try this avant-garde. It's a little better. They're still not identical, and that does kind of bother me. So let's see. We are not going to save this one because I don't like it. Let's see. That's pretty much Monogram, guys. It is really, this one's kind of fun. So that's kind of different where it makes the middle letter the small one. And then let's see. Oh, this kind of looks cool. That's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of those fonts, but that's kind of cool. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Let's try this one. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's change those full letters. Now remember, before the middle one was the full letter. On this one, it's the two side ones. So we're going to go ahead and click on full letter. And let's change it. Let's try this swirl. Oh no, that is not good at all. Let's see, what about this one? Again, I'm not real thrilled about the S's. Strangely enough, that weird font was probably the best one that I've seen. Let's go down a little bit. Let's go to the Monogram ones specifically. The Monogram ones are specific. They actually get more points to alter the look of them a little bit more. So a lot of times these ones wilt. Oh, that's a big no. That did not look good at all. What about this one? I'm not real fond of that one either. Let's make it bigger again. Let's do 70. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. I just saw one that I thought was kind of neat. No, I don't know where it happened. Maybe this one? No, that looks weird. But okay, guys, so do you kind of get the picture on how to kind of, that's kind of cool because it keeps it kind of the same. Anyway, so needless to say, guys, it's just kind of a hit and miss, kind of play with things type of thing. And then we can do the small letter, change it to that. That's kind of cool, actually. Let's go back to the full color and change the color. All right. So you kind of have the idea on where you can just go, kind of keep messing with it until you find something that you like. Once you find it, you can go ahead and say finish, and that puts it on your screen. So that is using the Monogram Wizard. One of the things that I like about this software is that I don't necessarily have to use the wizard in order to get things that I want. So we just went through the wizard, but we can get the same look using our own fonts. So over here we have the shapes. So we're going to choose this diamond shape. And I've put in my initials and we're going to say apply. So here they pop up on the screen and right now they're pretty small. So oops. So this lets us alter what we want to do. Okay. Not only can you do that, but we can also choose individual and say apply. And then this will let me make my B larger. Okay, I don't like that. I want less of a. Okay. And then see how they're kind of on top of each other? We can kind of, and see each letter is that shape, not the whole, but each letter. And then once you have what you kind of like, the distance between them all that you like, not that I actually like this one, but I'm just trying to show you really quick. Okay, so one other thing is alignment. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the top one. I'm going to hit my shift key on my keyboard, and I'm going to hit the third one on my film strip. So I click number 1, held down my shift key, and click number 3. That puts them all back together. And I'm going to do alignment, and I'm going to do vertical alignment, and I'm going to do align middle. That's going to adjust them so that they are all lined up down the center. So they are now all lined up. Okay, so we're going to select all again, and I'm going to delete that. So we're going to go back to the letter tab, and this time we're going to go, we're going to choose a frame first. And the frame we're going to choose is going to be this right here. We're going to choose this one. And we're just going to hit apply. And we're going to make that bigger. I'll make it about that big. And that's really big. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the letter tab. And this time I'm going to change my font real quick. And I'm going to change it to something a little bit easier to alter. Let's do this Georgia. Actually, we're going to do the larger Georgia. Okay, so I've picked Georgia as my font. I have my initials typed in. I have them marked as individual because I want to move them individually. And I'm going to say apply. Oh, wait. Delete that. I want to make them a rectangle again. And I'm going to say, actually, no. We're going to keep the diamond, I think. Right? Nope, we're going to do octagon. There we go. Now say apply. Okay. We're going to make them bigger. Okay, so notice how they kind of got altered when I do individual. Now watch what happens when I don't do individual. So I deleted that. I have Georgia chosen. I have my initials, 20 millimeters. It doesn't matter for what we're doing. Remember, fonts retain the information, or they add stitches and take away, so you can change them. Octagon, we're going to choose that, and we unchecked individual, and we're going to say apply. Now it makes more sense, right? The S and the J are at that angle, and the B is solid. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to match that frame. Now it's not quite the same. So I'm going to click on this little yellow box here. You see this little yellow box? We're going to click on that, and we are going to do constraint free. Constraint free lets us change it a little bit more. And one more, we're going to do force even distribution. This is going to let me move them all. Left, right, up, and down. Constraint free, or forced, what was it? Hold on, let me click on it. Forced even distribution did not let me move them side to side. I could only move them up or down. When I undo that, that allows me to move them side to side and up and down. Okay. So now I have the exact shape. Okay, and let's say that I wanted the letters to be that shape, but I didn't want this box around it. I could just delete it, and there's mine. I like the box, though. Not that color box. I might want my box just a little bit bigger. There we go. And you've just created your own monogram that's not in the wizard that I think looks better. It's not that I don't like the monogram wizard. I just think you have a lot more creativity available with using the letter tab. And we basically did the same thing. We chose a shape, um, and we went with it. And, you know, when you do the individual, you can make the bigger bee, you can do whatever, or you could do the same concept. Oops, deleted the wrong one, but that's okay. We'll go get another frame. So let's choose, like, we did that one. Let's do the diamond shape. So we're going to do the diamond and we're going to say apply. Okay, so here we have our diamond shape, and let's go get our letter. And this time I'm going to show you that if you just leave it in a line, so just a straight line, and say apply, you can pretty much do the same thing. So I can center that on here, and then here's my thing, and look, diamond's an option. And then once I do diamond, I can do constraint free, and that's going to let me be able to, again, move those dots. Now, remember, I'm now forced even distribution. So, you know, but watch this. So S, Y, E, I, J. Okay. So now this one allows me to adjust every initial by itself. Oops. Okay, and then this needs to go further. Okay, and then select all of them. And then alignment, vertical alignment, align middle again. And that's going to align them all, and then we can just center them up. And again, I've used it not so much to drag and do the shape like we had been doing, but to give me that shape and make the big middle letter bigger, just like we did on that other thing. And what's really neat is when you do things like alignment and things like that, there's a ton of different choices. So you can align left and it puts them all on top of each other, and you can align center. You can do vertical alignment is you can disable vertically. Hold on. Undo, 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 undo. Okay. Vertical alignment, you can distribute it. And they'll do that. So you have a lot of options. I could take them and I can move them whatever way I wanted. And it's going to make sure that they are distributed evenly between each other. I hope that kind of showed you a little bit better how that distribute evenly works. It puts the distance between all of them equal. And then we'll delete that. And then you can have your initials. So there's so much you can do with not only the Express Monogram Wizard, but just with the letter tab, you can do so much with monogramming and things like that. So I hope that helped with monogramming. There are so many rules to monogramming, which letter comes first, and if married. There's tons of websites out there that give you all the correct ways of doing it. But I'll tell you, I've tried and tried and tried to come up with something that's just like, you know, this is the way it is. And there's just so many difference of opinions out there. So do what you like. If somebody doesn't like it, that's on them. You know, do what you like. That's all the creativity. Okay, guys, I hope that helped with the Monogram Wizard. I hope I didn't go too fast. I really, really feel like maybe I rushed through that one. It might be because it's not one of my favorite tabs. But next time we're going to do Express Design. Now, Express Design I will take a little bit more time with because Express Design is going to be a little bit more in depth, and we are going to edit some of the things that we do during the Express design. Like I said, Express Monogram, you really can't edit anything. It is what it is. If you don't like it, you just got to redo it with something else. That is why the letter tab, if you like a certain font and that's the one you want, you have more creativity and ability to change it and make it what you want. All right, guys, that's it. Come back next week for Express Designing Wizard, or I guess, yeah, they're still called wizards of the software. All the different terminologies. Anyway, guys, come back next week and we'll do the Express Design Wizard. Have a great day.